All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're taking a passionate, microscopic look at the absolute craftsmanship and, honestly, the sheer sensory joy behind traditional Algerian cuisine. We're moving way beyond just tossing out recipes. We're going to really dig into those authentic, hands-on techniques that have been passed down for centuries. Whether we're talking about a hearty, savory mountain dish or a super delicate, fragrant sweet from the city, the level of artistry we're looking at is just absolutely incredible.
Okay, listen to this. Hadja Mina, who's an octogenarian who has lived in the ancient Kasbah of Algiers for decades, perfectly captures the vibe today. She says, flavor comes before artificial decoration. You know, in a world that is completely obsessed with flashy, highly decorated food for social media, her philosophy is this great reminder. True Algerian culinary tradition dictates that taste, texture, and natural ingredients always come before artificial aesthetics.
So, here's our tasting menu for this explainer. 1. Authentic Algerian culinary heritage. 2. The art of rolling and steaming couscous. 3. The secret of Makrout el-Louz whiteness. And 4. Living traditions across generations. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. Authentic Algerian Culinary Heritage. Let's see how this rich history builds over centuries to create something truly unique.
When you look at it, Algerian food is literally a living mosaic spanning thousands of years. I mean, we actually have archaeological evidence of primitive couscous pots found in tombs from the 3rd century BC, all the way back to the Numidian king Massinissa. So from those ancient Amazigh roots, the cuisine just absorbed all these incredible influences over time. You've got new spices coming in from the Arab-Islamic conquests in the 7th century, highly refined techniques from Andalusian refugees in the 15th century, and then distinct culinary shaping from the Ottoman and French periods. Every single era basically added a new, vibrant layer of flavor to the pot.
Section 2. The art of rolling and steaming couscous. Let's zoom in on the meticulous, rhythmic craftsmanship behind the region's most iconic staple. Now, the very identity of this dish is completely rooted in human touch. Get this, the original Amazigh term, seksu, derives directly from a linguistic root that means well-formed, well-rolled, and round. It's not just some quick grain you grab in a cardboard box from the supermarket. The name itself is literally a set of physical instructions.
So the really crucial point here is this exact multi-stage process of hand-rolling couscous. You absolutely don't just boil it in water. Imagine the intense tactile effort of step 1, literally rubbing dry semolina grains with olive oil by hand, making sure every single microscopic particle is evenly coated. Then you lightly sprinkle it with water, constantly moving your palms to separate the grains so they form these perfect, distinct little spheres. Next, it goes right into a couscous, which is the top part of a traditional steamer, to cook over this simmering aromatic broth. And the mastery doesn't even end there. You have to take it out, carefully separate the steaming grains again, rehydrate them, and steam them a second or even third time. This laborious hand-rolling and repeated steaming, that is the ultimate secret to why authentic Algerian couscous is impossibly fluffy, never clumped up, and just so deeply infused with flavor.
And what's really astounding here is how this one-hand-rolled grain adapts to incredibly diverse regional recipes. Like in the Kabylie region, you might find a robust, savory version loaded up with green beans, a rich vegetable broth, and sometimes cured dried meat. But then, moving beyond the savory, there's messafouf. This is a sweet variety, often served cold with golden raisins, tender peas, or paired perfectly with a cold glass of fermented milk. Oh, and then you have the striking red couscous of Miliana, which literally owes its vibrant color to fresh pomegranates and is delicately perfumed with rosewater. The sheer culinary versatility across these regions is just wild.
947. Yep, that is the calorie count in a standard traditional serving of fully loaded savory couscous. Now, while it sounds like you might need a serious nap right after eating that, it actually highlights its vital historical role. Up in the bitter, cold winter months in the Algerian mountains, this wasn't just, a casual evening meal. It was incredibly efficient, energy-dense fuel designed to keep families warm, nourished, and sustained through freezing temperatures.
All right, let's leave the savory world behind for just a second. I want you to imagine stepping into the narrow, vibrant, and incredibly fragrant alleys of the old Kasbah of Algiers. We're transitioning into the world of traditional Algerian sweets, where the artistry shifts from hearty, sustaining grains to some of the most delicate, perfumed ingredients imaginable.
Section 3. The secret of Makrout el-Louz's whiteness. It's time to decode a legendary, delicate sweet that actually recently captured the attention of the global culinary scene.
Going right back to Haji Mina's philosophy from earlier, there is a stark contrast between modern trends and tradition. Today, there is this massive surge of what they call prestige sweets, desserts that use heavy artificial food dyes, super bright colors, and incredibly elaborate visual decorations, but they often kind of lack real soul. Makrut el Luz is the exact opposite. It relies on simple, precise geometric shapes and completely natural ingredients. The focus is 100% on a deep, authentic, mouth-watering flavor profile rather than flashy artificial looks.
So, what is the exact secret behind its pristine, striking whiteness and that crazy melt-in-your-mouth texture? Well, it all comes down to a really pure, uncompromising combination of ingredients. The core of it is a finely ground almond dough, which naturally has this pale, elegant color. It's brightened up with freshly grated lemon zest and brought together with distilled orange blossom water, which historically was made with home-distilled rose water. But the real key to its signature pristine look is that final, crucial step. The sweet is entirely enveloped in a dense, thick, snowy coating of the absolute finest white powdered sugar. You seriously don't need any artificial coloring when you perfectly balance zesty citrus, pure almond, and that generous snowy dusting of sugar.
And let me tell you, that commitment to pure ingredients has had a serious global impact. Makrut el Luz recently landed the #4 spot globally on Taste Atlas's ranking of the top 50 sweets in the world. Just think about that. Out of all the desserts across the entire globe, this naturally white almond and lemon masterpiece secured its place in the top 5, actually beating out famous French sablés and classic American cookies. No way, right?
Section 4. Living Traditions Across Generations. Finally, let's take a step back and look at exactly why these meticulous techniques carry so much cultural weight today.
Because these aren't just lists of ingredients, they are a really profound culinary heritage. Through centuries of history, including the severe, disruptive hardships of colonial rule, it was the women in places like the Kasbah and the rural villages who acted as the fiercely dedicated guardians of this culture. By passing down the actual physical techniques like the hand-rolling of the grain and blending floral waters from mother to daughter, they maintained the Algerian cultural identity through the senses. They basically preserved their rich history right there on the plate.
So when we look at the incredible artistry required to make these dishes, the patience, the pure ingredients, the deep tactile connection to the food itself, it really makes you wonder. In an age dominated by ultra-fast food and highly artificial desserts, how do we ensure this meticulous, handcrafted artistry remains vibrant and untouched for the next generation? It is absolutely a question worth pondering the next time you sit down to enjoy a truly authentic meal. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer.